guys, I am Ash, and this is Saf. We're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. This video is sponsored by Dragonheir Silent Gods. Saf, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm not doing too bad today, you know. It's middle of the week, as we're normally recording, so everything, I don't know what day it is, but we're here to talk about Dragonheir.
Tearing down that fourth wall. We do record in bulk. We try to get 2 recordings at least done at a time, hence the same clothes that we wear every 2 recordings in a row, or 3. But anyway.
Our wardrobes are larger.
Indeed. But yeah, man, hey, we beat the game last video. That was a blast. I'll pretend like it wasn't 30 seconds ago when we recorded that video. That was a blast. And I've been playing this game now for a few months, for 2.5, 3 months. You've been playing it for over a year now. Is that accurate? Around a year, let's just say, right?
For like month 10, I think. I'm out to 11 months or so. It's around about 10 or 11 months, yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit about our backgrounds is I started playing Clash of Clans in 2014. I started covering Clash of Clans. I went from Clash of Clans to Clash Royale. I went from Clash Royale to Raid Shadow Legends, and then now I cover Dragonheir Silent Gods as well as Watcher of Realms. So like those are the games that I'm most involved in historically in terms of this, I guess, mobile games, generally speaking. What about you, Saf? Like, because obviously today's topic is going to be, is Dragonheir Silent Gods pay to win? And we're going to try to, like, I said this towards the end of last video too, Saf, but like, this is a sponsored channel, but they've never given us any feedback on what we can and can't say, and we've always shared our true opinions to their credit. So I mean, exactly. I won't, obviously, if I might not be uploading this if they give us any flack for it, but we're just going to give our unadulterated, honest opinion here of how this game compares in terms of the pay to win nature that is so notorious in this genre to the other games out there. You know, what our genuine experience has been. So why don't you go ahead, Saf, just like talk a little bit about your experience in this genre, and then just get into it. Like, how does Dragonheir compare?
Yeah, so right now I'm playing basically 3 primary gacha game type of things. I'm playing Dragonheir, obviously. I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm currently playing AFK Journey as well as like my casual game.
Yeah, you like that,
very
right?
Similar. I quite like AFK Journey. Now, they all have different monetization models. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them have different good features or different bad features. Now, in terms of Dragonheir, I would say Dragonheir is one of those, one of the least pay-to-win games I've ever experienced, in the sense that a low spender can get a lot of value for its money. They don't really spam you with lots and lots of packs.
They don't really spam you at all.
They don't really give you packs generally. It's quite almost to its own detriment, I would say.
I know.
Whereas like Raid Shadow Legends is almost like I can't change to a different dungeon without having a pack thrown in my face most of the time.
Not a pop-up spam. They're very good at that. The only thing I can even recall ever getting, Saf, in this game, your monthly, like we bought the monthly thing for like $10 or $20 or whatever it was, and when it was expired, it popped up to renew. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, AFK Journey is kind of a bit of an in-between, in the sense that, you know, it doesn't really spam you with a lot of offers. There's a lot of offers available. They have like their battle passes and things that you see in Dragonheir, which Raid kind of don't really have. They kind of have a forge pass. It's sort of the same thing. It's not really the same thing though. But what they do is they have like this like super Kraken tier. If you want to get like the best heroes in the game in AFK Journey, there's like this like huge premium on it. Like it's unhealthily expensive to get anywhere near, because that game is all about getting versions of the same hero to be able to get them to like an actual power level. You need to probably spend like $1,000 to get one of the heroes at one point. It's crazy expensive, which I suppose is probably the same for Raid, but Raid is like a lot of heroes. This game only has like 45 to 50 heroes. It's crazy, that tier of them, but the others are pretty accessible. And those are the 3 types of games I'm playing. One of them is much more AFK, which is AFK Journey. Raid is much more like active all the time, and then Dragon is much more like structured, in the sense that things happen at certain points in time that you need to be aware of. You have a few dailies, but it doesn't take as much of your time as something like Raid. So it's very interesting kind of where I'm playing all 3 of them. Okay.
Now, the elephant in the room here is all the games that we play are mobile pay-to-win games, right? Even like Clash of Clans. Like, some people, especially someone just clicking on this video, they have no idea who we are. We're just talking about this game. They're going to be like, dude, look at these guys talking about this game like it's not pay-to-win, right? I think it's in comparison to most mobile titles. Like, I think it's safe to say that this is probably one of the least pay-to-win, right? I mean, how many times have I asked you, Saf, when you're like, okay, we got to work on this, you know, and just seeing as how this is a sponsored channel, frankly, and how it's also, you know, we have jobs and we have a lot going on in our lives. So I'm like, hey, dude, can we just spend a little bit to not have to do that? And I probably asked you that, what, like 4 or 5 times so far in the last few months? And
yeah, you keep asking me, and I keep telling you the same answer every single time. We can't do it.
Like, yeah, like we don't need to spend, or we're not gonna be able to spend our way out of this problem, basically, right? So that's been really cool in a way. Like, I would like to hear that if I was a viewer or a prospective player of this game, right? For us, it might not be like, I'm like, oh man, we can't do anything to speed this up, you know, or whatever at times. I want to ask you this: if you're a 100% free-to-play player, meaning that you're just not looking to spend money on mobile or PC or whatever, games cross-platform, obviously, is this going to be a tedious or laborious experience at any point? Or are you going to feel like you really don't have what you need until the end game if you're trying to compete? Because obviously at that point, I imagine it is very pay to win. But anyway, let's rewind.
Yeah, so I think what's interesting about Dragonheir is it's far less important about how many of the good heroes you have, and far more about which of them that fit the roles of your teams, because you're not building heroes, you're building teams in Dragonheir. That's the big difference. So, you know, we're lucky and fortunate enough that we've managed to be able to pull quite a few Dauntless. Yeah. And that is really valuable. But in terms of the teams, if we didn't have, right, we could pull one of the Dauntless, which is maybe the best Dauntless hero in the game. Yeah. But then if we actually don't pull the rest of them to go with it, it doesn't really matter, which is quite different. It's kind of weird. In most games, you will have this concept where, you know, you go after that Siphi or that Rotus, it's the big hero. You actually need the pairings in this game, which is somewhat interesting, because it does mean that if you happen to get lucky in the right type of characters and the right type of heroes, actually you can build teams that you wouldn't expect with other heroes. And also, I think because of the way that the game is engineered, in the sense that you have to build lots of teams, you will probably end up finding that even the rares have some value and place in the game, which I think is a nice experience. Like, it's not as pay to win. If you want to really compete at the top of the arena, like with all games, you're gonna have to pay, right? That's natural. Every game that you play, if you want to compete at the top end of arena, you're gonna have to pay the money for that. Okay, so let's put it this way. We just estimated in our last video it took us 25 hours to finish the campaign, right? It could have taken us a lot longer had we read every word and really like didn't skip through cutscenes and stuff, but it took us about 20 hours or so, give or take. So if I read you correctly, if I hear you, understand you correctly, your assessment is that this game, if you just want to enjoy this game as a free 20-hour, play the campaign, it might take you a few months if you take it, you know, somewhat casually, and then another season will come on. You'll have new stuff to do. If you want to treat it like that in a PvE and just enjoying the story, which is very in depth, you don't really need to spend it all. And if you want to compete beyond that, like you want to be the best in the game at PvP or the #1 player on the leaderboards at the end of the season, like, yeah, that's going to be costly. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to, you need the inspiration of the legendary heroes, right? You need the legendary artifacts if you really want to compete for the season leaderboard. But that doesn't mean you can't play the game and get lots of rewards and play the game and have fun and get a hero roster and summon heroes. The game gives you a lot of legendary summons. It's not tied exclusively to the legendary summons. It just gives you a bit of a foot up, if that makes sense. And it depends on what type of player you are. If you want to win, then you are encouraged to spend. For about $20 to $30 a month, you can basically get yourself a battle pass, 2 regular things, and that will give you about 40 to 50 legendary summons. It's quite a lot. It's a very, very good system. So from a pay to win aspect, I actually think Dragonheir, for a low spender, is one of the better game offerings out there. But I do think it's a detriment to itself that they don't offer more regular packs like Raid do that give you a different thing. What AFK Journey do really well is they will every so often give you a pack that gives you a 99-cent deal, that gives you some summons on one of the rate up banners or something. And it's like, okay, it's cool. It's something different, something that's going to help me get something else. I feel like in Dragonheir, everything is almost a little bit too predetermined and too specific that spending doesn't feel like you're having fun. It's almost like I'm paying my subscription to play the game. Seth, the developer should hire you as a consultant as well, my friend, because you're like, dude, give me some more stuff to buy. Dragonheir it's not like I want expensive packs. It's just if we go to like the daily supply store, for example, you can see there's just not many offers. Which one is it? Actually, it might be the treasure market. Yeah, this is it. Like, this is the only offers available to you, and it's very
Well, we talked about,
Not much there, really.
I should mention too, we have a whole video talking, if you guys do want to spend, if you're compelled to spend, even on a budget, we do have like ranking the top 5 and kind of best and worst value in the game and like kind of the best direction to go there. And I'll link that video in the description. But this is kind of for like people who maybe haven't started playing yet and they want to know what they're getting into, right? So you can watch that video for recommendations if you want to spend. But overall, it seems like if you treat this as it feels quality-wise close to a console or PC experience. Do you think that's an accurate?
Yeah, that's an accurate estimation. Like the gameplay is built in Unity, but it feels like it's an Unreal Engine game at times. It's built really well. So from that perspective, yeah, it feels like, you know, it's a game that is of a high quality delivery. They just don't. Clearly, it's a decision that they've made. They don't want to monetize it as aggressively.
Yeah.
And they don't spam you with packs, which is very rare for this type of game. Like, I've seen many games spam
everything.
Spam.
Yeah, like any Plarium game. I mean, it doesn't even like Marvel Strike Force, whatever. Like, I'm not throwing shade at any games, but they all have offers and pop-ups and whatever. This game feels a lot different, kind of like a blend between like a real traditional like Baldur's Gate type game and a gacha, even with the monetization. So overall, I would say yes, it is paid. I think it is pay to win if you do want to compete at the very top of the leaderboards or PvP. Otherwise, you can spend what you normally spend on a console game, maybe like $50 US, something like that, and get a lot out of it. Like that's pretty much what we did. We spent a little bit more than that. We spent a couple $100s, but I feel like we didn't have to necessarily. We did some of that just to have the content to summon and stuff like that. So I feel like if you take that mentality, you won't be disappointed at all. Or if you're totally free to play and you just want the great, vivid storyline, you won't be disappointed. If you expect to compete on an equal playing field with the best in the game for free, you will be disappointed. That's our final assessment, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's the final way that I would say it. It's like for probably over a 3-month season, you can probably spend somewhere in the region of $100 over 3 months, which for anyone who's an avid gamer would be used to paying like a $9.99 subscription or something like that. And you can easily play the game without having to spend any extras and still feel like you get a lot for your money. Yeah, which is the important thing. All
right, guys, that's gonna do it. Just to put, we spent, like I said, like around 200, maybe 250 with the passes. But we're 87th right now in the rankings. Obviously, that's like there's a lot of other factors that go into that, like why we're there or whatever. But I feel like the top guy.
This ranking, I should say, a lot of this ranking is because we weren't a super active
server
preparing for the end of the server events.
Yes.
Had we like been more active, like if you just play the game more, do more of your daily content, prepare more teams, you can balloon this number all the way up to the top, because this is all about the last month of the gameplay, which we are sort of like, we're playing casually because we want to, like, I certainly enjoy experiencing it as the average player, not the end game player. Whereas in my end game account, it's like, if I miss a day, I drop like 200 places. So it's a nice experience for me. But this is not about a payment thing. These people at the top here have not paid to get there. They've just managed their resources the best.
So I got to ask you then, my final question is, if you are totally free to play, it's viable to get #1 end of season rankings?
Not necessarily #1,
but like top 20, really the top matters. Reward.
Yeah. For season 1, the only one matters really is like top 50 or certainly top 150.
Okay.
If you can get top 20, congrats. That's going to be a pay to win though, right? But you don't look how much difference. The only difference is the gold banner and then a few more summons. But the big difference is 150 is the horse, and I think anyone can pretty much get 150 so long as they play the game.
Okay.
It's not too difficult, and the game will give you plenty of resources to help you get along the way and prepare you for the next season. And then what you'll find is as you get more seasons, you get more heroes, the teams become easier to build, and everything becomes a lot easier to do. All
right, guys. Well, you heard it there. Hopefully you enjoy our assessment of the pay-to-winness of Dragonheir Silent Gods. Let us know if if you've played the game already and you agree with our sentiments, our opinions on this game, especially compared to others in the genre. Let us know your feedback in the comments below. Thanks again to Saf. I am Ash, and we are out. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.